Greetings and a warm welcome to Metaphysical Awakenings with Barbara and Eric. This is episode 6, and today's episode is titled The Power of Protection.
Oh, so important.
I'm really looking forward to learning from you as far as tools that we can use to protect ourselves in daily life.
Right. Understanding that everything is energy. Everything is a vibration, a frequency, and so forth and so on. We have to remember that as a spiritual being having this human experience, we can take on energy from other people and not even know this.
Oh.
Or people can take energy from us without us even knowing this.
I felt that way before.
Yes. We're getting closer to Halloween. It's kind of like the spiritual vampire, if you will.
Yeah, you ever get out of a conversation with someone and just feel like so exhausted?
Oh, that's it. That's it. That's exactly right.
It's like they've taken away so much of your energy and your mental capacity, and you just feel wary after that.
And the next time you see them, how do you feel?
I don't know if I want to have this conversation with you again.
Yep. So you see them coming and you just kind of want to take a left turn. Hi, how are you? Out the door.
Energy vampires.
Yeah, that's a way to do it, or a way to say it. So
people who are friendly can be or energy vampires are attracted to people who maybe are overly friendly or kind.
Mm-hmm. And that is part of the being an empath, being a nice person, being a psychic or a medium. We have to understand that even though our very own eyes may not see the light that we give off or feel the vibration that we're giving off, our spirit self does. Okay? And that will ping our spirit self. Oh, she has got a lot of light. He has got a lot of energy. Let me go this way and see if he'll share some of that. These are not cognitive thoughts. These aren't things that people actually sit down and think about. It's just kind of an automatic happening. And you're right. Those people who are happy and sweet and love to have people around, they have a lot of energy until they don't.
Right.
And you're trying to figure out, where did all of this go? I mean, you've obviously run into people like this. And
yes, a couple of years ago I had to deal with an energy vampire. I didn't recognize it until it was like a year and a half of knowing this person, and by the end of it, I was just so like, I can't be around this person anymore. Right. And finally, I woke up to it. I was just trying to come from a place of love and understanding and trying to be nice to the person. But and I'd end up having these like super long like conversations on the phone, and I hardly ever talk to my phone. I'm like, why am I talking to this person like way longer than I even talk to my girlfriend? Like,
right.
This doesn't make sense.
Right. Because that's what's happening.
And a lot of times after the conversation, I'd be like, what did we even talk about? All I feel is just exhausted.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That same thing happened to me about the same time. And there are ways for us to protect ourselves. Whether we realize it's happening or not, it's actually quite simple. There are things that you can wear. I use my energy to charge things. I pray over things and I have them vibrate at a certain level of protection, for one thing. Not that I needed to protect from you, but I knew I was going to be driving in Orlando traffic. So I wore my power beads.
Ooh.
These were given to me by my friend Peach, and we all wore these during doing healings. In case negative energy came at it, this would hit and negate it.
Wow.
Yeah. So we'll get into crystals and their meaning and empowering things and all of that. But today rather, I'd rather give you the tools of protecting your energy and helping others maybe understand how to protect themselves as well.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay, so I have to go by examples because that's just how I work. One of those vampires grabbed onto me, and it was years of this because I wasn't who I am now.
Right.
And I was just coming back into my medium awarenesses, and I had a teacher who was also not mentally stable, let's put it that way.
Oh.
And whereas this person was powerful when she allowed spirit to come through her human personality was very bipolar.
Gotcha.
And at the end of that relationship, I finally had to say, I love you, but I have to go. I can't. I never know who I'm talking to, and I'm not negating or having anybody think about doing this to another human being. But this was 3 years in, and this person refused to seek help to get herself on an even keel. And when that happened time after time after time, I had to go. That was my choice to leave. And God bless her.
And that's a loving gesture, not only to yourself, but to the other person as well. It was an unhealthy dynamic, unhealthy relationship.
Very, very much so. But the things that I learned once I got out of there and I started using my own gifts that had awakened, being up in the tree, the oak tree. And what I mean by that is when you have a situation that's just not working or upsetting or a problem, a person, get up into the proverbial oak tree on the first branch and look down upon the problem. You'll never solve the problem on the level of the problem because all you see is that. You're immersed in it. But moving to that oak tree limb, you're actually moving into your higher self.
Yes.
Where you can watch from a higher state of being. And if you're having problems, you can call your whole team to sit in a tree with you. My next door now is my next door neighbor is my lucky owl. And anyway, so once I got up in the tree and I had the presence of mind to see what was going on, I understood why I was getting sick all the time and why I didn't want to get out of bed. I was so tired. Why? I shouldn't be tired. I'm sleeping. I'm doing all of these things. I was actually eating well back then too. I mean, it made no sense to me until I understood my friend being this vampire.
Right. So your subconscious knew, your body knew, you were getting dis-ease from being around
Correct.
that person, and finally your consciousness was awakened by, wait a second, this happened.
Yep.
And I feel better off from going through a situation to where I had that energy vampire because now I'm aware of certain traits and I can prevent it from happening again. And,
Perfect.
Because, this life, our soul contract is all about lessons.
Right.
And, and sometimes we need the same situation to happen multiple times before we find that lesson.
Yep.
But I feel like that's one that I think I've learned a little bit better. So
good. That's good. And eventually we do. I teach a lot of classes, and the first thing I always do is I have everybody cleansed with sage. And then we use a tool of which I called Girt Up.
What's that?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. My dear friend Gert.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah. She was part of the church that I went to, and I became her healthcare surrogate because I could see her falling between the cracks, and she had a doctor she was absolutely scared of. And I said, why are you scared? Well, long story short, I sat her down. I got black tourmaline. These are hematite beads, but the same difference happens. I put it in each pocket, and I put it down in the pawpaw patch. And we went to see this doctor. And that was the day that he backed completely off. The week that we went prior, he yelled at her in front of me.
Oh my goodness.
Because she said that she had pneumonia and he was livid. He started screaming at Mrs. Zulowski, which wasn't even her name. You did not have pneumonia. You had bronchitis because you did not do what I told you to do. And you can see her trembling. I said, sir, would you please lower your voice? You're scaring my friend, and this is very, very unprofessional. Mrs. Zukowski, you must understand. I said, she doesn't have to understand anything because you frighten her. And we're going to leave. We'll make another appointment, and hopefully it will go better. And I packed her up, and we left.
Wow. You were being a good friend there. I'm glad that you were there. Otherwise, her health would probably still decline more.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't going to happen on my shift. That's when I became her healthcare surrogate. I mean,
okay.
For all things. Anyway, so I had a friend who, this is Gert, and Gert wanted to do everything that Barbara did. And I'm going to go and I'm going to do this class. So I want to come. I want to learn Barbara. And so she was my sidekick for especially my healing classes and the things that I would do. Now,
okay.
I will tell you, and I'm going to tell you her name because I'm so proud of her.
All right.
Her name is Gertrude Zukowski. She was the Massage Therapist of the Year in Brevard County for 3 years running while she was in her 80s. Power hands.
Whoa.
I'm not kidding. Anyway, so she had a lot of knowledge with healing and working with her hands, so that worked out well. So as I started doing these classes, I would do something like teaching the clairs, clairaudience, clairvoyance, and all that stuff. And I said, after we cleanse, then we're going to have to put our protection on. And she would jump up, I know, Barbara, can I tell them? I said, you surely can, Gert. She says, you put the white light of Christ around your heart. And then you raise your vibration as high as your body can take it. Right, Barbara? Right, Gert. And she says, and you call on Archangel Michael to watch over you. And I said, you got it, Gert. And I said, class, did you understand that? And they all laughed and carried on. I said, great. Because the further we go down the road, the more easy things are going to come. So I'm going to come in, and I'm just going to ask you to Gert up.
All right. So that sounds like it incorporates 3 things. So the white light of God or Christ around our heart.
Right.
Then also calling upon our Archangel Michael.
Okay, in the need, yep.
And then what was the third one again?
Okay, and raising our vibration.
Raising the vibration, that's right.
Okay, so let me go back and explain just a little bit.
Sure.
All right. So basically, putting your white light of Christ or God around your heart, you actually want to put it around your whole self. You want to put yourself in a white light bubble.
Ooh, can I share something that I recently learned?
Yes.
So I recently took a Munakai class, and that is the energy of love. And one of the very first lessons that we learned is Varakosha. And it sounds exactly like what you're talking about, putting the white light of God or Christ or Source around us for protection.
Yes.
So the way that you do this is you close your eyes and envision, you can see the white light of God, Christ, Source, whatever you want to call it. And what you do is you focus on that white light. You take your hands like this, put them together, and you put it up, and you penetrate that white light and spread it all over your body.
Perfect.
And this is something that will provide protection for a couple hours. You can reapply it anytime you need to. Often I do it before I take a long drive, or I'm about to have a potentially difficult meeting. And it's been, in addition to other things like prayer and meditation, that Varakosha has been a very powerful tool, and it just sounds kind of like a variation of what
It's
girding
the
up is
same
doing.
thing. It's the same thing. Putting the white light of God around you for protection, okay? And as you raise your vibration, you physically vibrate at a certain number, okay? And depending on your spirituality, if you're depressed and you're sad, your vibration is going to be lower.
Okay.
And what happens with that, without the white light around us, that lower vibration will bring in lower vibrations around it. Spiritual law of attraction, rather. And people who are more in the know about energy and vibratory things like that will see, okay, that's a good one. That looks like a girl who might be in a low place. I can go get one over on her. So we want to be very, very, very careful about protecting ourselves and raising our vibration. Whatever you intend to do with your life, that is what happens with you. It is my intention to raise my vibration as high as my physical body can maintain and hold it.
And how does one raise their vibration?
You just speak it out loud.
Speak out that intention. Okay.
Creator God, it is my intention that you assist me in raising my vibration as high as my physical body can hold and manifest it. Thank you, God. Now, there are different things that you can do with this as well. If you know that you're going into a situation that's going to be negative or hard to deal with or whatever, what I do, sometimes I don't know if I do the right thing or not, but what I do is I put mirrors on the outside of my bubble. And anything negative that tries to come at me, it is reflected back. And I don't necessarily say to them unless they need to see something for themselves, which a lot of the time may be. But I ask that negativity come down and disperse before it hits the earth. The earth doesn't need any more negativity.
No.
So that is an option. You can call anything into play that you want to. For me, if I'm going to raise my vibration and I'm going to say, I'm going to assist with a memorial service, which I do a lot, I just ask that the color inside my white light bubble be full of pink and purple, love and spirit, so that whatever I convey to the people around me is that vibration of things. But you must remember to gird up. Get
That's
your
right.
vibration up there, because people don't know what they're doing a lot of the times, and they will bring your energy into themselves. And there's not a crime. The spirit police aren't going to come and arrest you, but you will feel depleted.
Yes.
And you well know that. And I laugh and call it girding up, but it's an easy way. Every morning I get up, say my morning prayers, and I say, God, okay, I'm going to gird up and go. And I know immediately what that is. It just happens. See, the more that we learn through the spiritual awarenesses that we bring in, the faster that we do it.
So that helps you to protect yourself from low energy, whether it be people or just things. And one of the things I learned from the Varicosha is you can protect yourself, but you can also protect others. And even if it's someone who is like low vibration and you don't want to be near them, you can just go ahead and put a little bit of that white light around them.
100%.
And anecdotally, I've tried that a few times, like at the supermarket, whenever I see someone just having a bad day or impatient, I'll just do this and just push a little bit there. They don't see it or anything like that, but I like to think that maybe makes their day a little bit better, or maybe the cashier's day a little bit better.
Right. Your intention when it's love will be received. It might go right over depending on, the person, but love is always the right thing to do. Always and forever. But you have to love yourself enough to protect yourself. And if you're feeling particularly low and there's really no reason around it, try this. Just try it. It's not going to cost you anything. It's not going to do anything except perhaps help raise you up higher toward the God source.
So we talked about the two parts of girding up as far as the white light of source, of God, of Christ being around our heart, around our whole body. We talked about also raising our vibration.
Yes.
And give us a great simple prayer to raise it up.
Yeah.
And you also mentioned Archangel Michael.
Okay.
So who is that for people who are unaware?
Okay. Archangel Michael is the powerful archangel of protection. In the Bible, he is the archangel who, quote unquote, slayed the devil. Okay? And we know within the vibration of spirituality him to be that whom God will send if we're in trouble to come yield his sword and protect us in that moment.
And whenever you say the devil, from what I understand, is slaying the fear.
There it is. Perfect. That's a great translation. Like I said, I was quoting what the Bible has told us about. No, but the point is, metaphysically, that is exactly what that is. Cutting the fear away from our lives. Call him if you're fearful. Call your angels, the archangels, and they'll know what to do. Gert used Archangel Michael as her everyday go-to, and that was good for her. There are other archangels that you can call in different moments. I work hand in hand every single day with Archangel Raphael. And Archangel Raphael is that beautiful, glorious angel who comes and helps with healing and is with me in my learning moments or in my healing moments. I step myself aside and I ask Archangel Raphael to come and assist with the power from the one, the great I am.
How does one call upon Archangel Michael, or any archangel for that matter?
In a simple prayer. If I'm getting ready to work on someone, let's just say I'm going to work on you, for whatever case may be. My prayer would be, Creator God, I come to you with the intention to use healing and wholeness to assist Eric on his path. Where I see disruption of energy, I ask that I move aside and that Archangel Raphael bring through your glorious, healing, powerful energy in order to assist us in this journey. And I am so very grateful for this. So it is. Amen.
Wow, I have goosebumps. I feel like everything's elevating in me, my body, and wow.
Yeah, it's powerful. You feel that. Goosebumps, your God bumps, are your truth meter, people. Know that.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. Tools that we can use, very practical tools.
Absolutely. It's not hard. It's just something you have to remember to do.
Right. And with practice, I would imagine it becomes easier.
Yeah. Practice always makes progress. Practice never makes nothing perfect. That's a fib. If you know something that's perfect, send us a note, because I would like to know what that is. But in all seriousness, practice or the repeating of a certain pattern brings results.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
And I'm going to tell you something that God was sending me on the way over here, and I should have paid better attention to it than me and my recovery from road rage didn't do so well.
That's right. I'm sure you'll have another test ahead of you. Hopefully not on the way back.
Thank you, God, for the I forgot to say my prayer of protection before I got in the car.
Okay.
So the first turn down the main road, everybody was stopped. And it could only be one thing, and that's a tortoise, going across the road, All right, so that's great, because I was going to jump out and get him out, And, words of wisdom. If you're going to go help a turtle or a tortoise, make sure you put him the way that he was going, or he's just going to come back and go that way again.
I did not know that.
I didn't either. I learned that from the wildlife people when I had to take a tortoise down to be treated.
Well, he was already walking to go that way. Must have wanted to go that way. So
walk this way. Yeah, no. Anyway, so I got off of that road and I turned onto the 407. It's another backup. It's another tortoise. Same exact size in the same exact place. It's becoming a pattern. A pattern. Third one I saw, I said, okay, hey Siri, what does a tortoise mean in power animals?
Oh.
And that was what the message was. To be patient, that horrible word I hate, and to know that everything will come in divine order.
Yes.
But to be aware that you must be patient and allow things to come to you. You can't push the river because you're going to get all wet.
You came at the right time. I had some dishes I needed to clean up and stuff before you got over. So I was glad that you were a few minutes behind what we talked about.
Everything is always in the perfect divine order. And if we will just let go and allow all of that to happen, imagine the peace we can have in our life. Honestly. Instead of being at the steering wheel because the city won't get out of my lane and blah, 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 blah. No. I got halfway here and I was having all of those thoughts because I didn't gird up and do what I was supposed to do. But then the tortoises came back to mind, and that's when I asked, okay, tell me what tortoise means. And I'm like, of course. Patterns come in threes. Always watch for those. There's your answers to things. And that goes with any subject that we talk about.
Okay.
But also knowing you're going to be in a vehicle. You want to place your vehicle and everybody in there in that white light bubble. And forgive me, but in my white light bubble, when I travel as Creator God, I ask that the white light bubble of protection go around me and my occupants. I ask that everyone else be in their white light bubble of protection as well. I ask that my way be made clear, my way be not interrupted, and that in my white light bubble, I become invisible to the popo. Thanks, God, amen. Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to start using that one before I drive, too.
It
wow.
But, and, that's kind of a silly thing, but I do use that. Just that is my prayer. And it really is that simple, because what you put your intention on is what comes.
It's so powerful.
Spiritual law of attraction.
That's right.
What you actually go out and do and say comes back to you. Mind your words. If you're cursing and yelling and falling off of the back of the truck again to get into road rage, guess what's going to come back at you?
Not good.
Yeah. So
words are so powerful. That could be a whole message for a future one there.
It absolutely is. And your intention is your power.
Yes.
There's really no other way to put it. And, speaking of other people who are, having issues We just had a really, really strong episode prior to this.
Right.
Remember to put people who are down around you. We can't interrupt their journey. It is not ours to do.
Not our responsibility.
We are not God. Their journey is between them and God, but you can put the white light of protective God love around them and ask their angels to watch over them and move on. The vibration of prayer and love and prayer are the strongest things in the universe, bar none.
Wow. Excellent. So, girding up. Which had those three aspects, the white light of God and love around our hearts, raising our vibration, as well as calling upon Archangel Michael. You also mentioned that certain elements or beads or minerals can assist with that.
We'll do an episode soon on crystals, vibrations, colors, and what they are actually for in our lives. That can be very powerful too.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Any other tools that you'd like to share for the power of protection?
The power of protection.
Well, while you're thinking of that, one thing I wanted to mention, because you said that intention is our power.
Yeah.
So if we intend to protect ourselves, that is the power of protection.
Bam. Isn't it that simple? it really is that simple. We just have to make it so hard for some reason.
Right.
Until we get it.
Because sometimes we feel like, oh, we're not good enough, or we're not holy enough to say one of these prayers or intentions to protect ourselves.
Garbage.
Such an untruth right there.
Lord.
So these are tools that any of us can use, whether we're new to it, even if you've never done it before and are super skeptical, and you're doing it and you're like, this is not going to work. Well, then it might not work as much.
It won't work.
Okay,
that's your intention, see?
Right.
You're already messing it up.
Okay. So I guess it's about, taking that kind of leap of faith in a way to just say, okay, I'm going to believe just this one time that working these tools here is going to work. And with that little bit of faith, it will work.
It will. Just try it. Again, it doesn't cost you anything. You're not going to lose anything except a couple seconds time, right? And imagine when you feel so much better and you're looking around and go, what happened? Have a look in the mirror because you called it to you.
Oh, so powerful. I'm really glad that we had a chance to discuss this power for protection, because it's something we can all do. Something everyone could do that's accessible to us at any moment. Any
moment in time. Just always remember, call God, and that's what I mean by putting God in the middle of things. It's your intention to have God in the middle of wherever you're going and doing, and that protection is just your birthright.
That's right.
Yeah. So
on that note, shall we end with the prayer for protection?
What a great idea. Okay. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Thank you so much, God, and thank you so much to our audience for joining us. We will see you next time. Take care.
Bye.